The book begins like Hemlock Lake and through a yellow wood in early spring when winter's grip is still tight and the wind funnels through the hollows and hurls slabs of ice on the lake, sending them scraping and clacking against each other. The protagonist, Dan Stone, has taken on the thankless task of investigating 5 cold cases. In the scene I'm going to read, he's laid out the cases for his friend Jefferson Lanier. And Jefferson's a man who suffered a mental break when he came back from Vietnam, and he spent 25 years wandering around the country. Came back to Hemlock Lake and saved Dan's life. So they have a strong bond. And now they've walked up to the ridge above Hemlock Lake where the cemetery is. He led me behind the Sagendorf family monument and pointed at a couple of logs shaped by a chainsaw into rough chairs. The Sagendorfs break the wind, and the Goodrich marker, Jefferson pointed at a broad monument a dozen feet away, reflects sunlight this way in the spring and fall. I noted a clump of snowdrops about to flower, thoughtful of them, not the way they were in life, not according to Mary Lou. He jerked a thumb toward a double row of lunchbox-sized granite grave markers flanking the monument. Seems like if Samuel Goodrich loved his wives and kids, he'd have drunk less and taken better care of them. 2 wives, 17 children, most dead within a week. Only 2 lived to be tall enough to see over the counter at the general store. One of Mary Lou's passions was genealogy, so I wasn't surprised he knew this. I crossed blighted grass, hunkered on a log seat, and found it more comfortable than it looked. Jefferson rolled another log from beneath an ancient maple and set it upright as a table. I stood the sack in the center and tore along the creases, making a tablecloth. It appears you come here often. Probably more than some would say is healthy. He folded his lanky frame into the other seat and reached for a sandwich. From here I can see Lou Marie. I gazed at the pink marble stone atop her grave. Lou Marie had elevated frugality to a fine art. Had she seen death coming, she would have contracted for the cheapest possible marker or made it clear she'd go without. Jefferson and Mary Lou acknowledged her character and then bought this stone and had it carved with the roses Lou Marie hadn't lived to carry down the aisle. I used to feel her around here last summer and into the fall. Jefferson opened his root beer and took a swallow. She's been gone since the first snow. Probably a good thing. Lou Marie had been jealous and vindictive. She knew the man she waited for all those years married her sister, and if she found a way here from whatever came after death, she'd bring a reign of misery on both of them. And Clarence is over there. Jefferson pointed the other way, at the place where we buried the old dog handler who had hoped to train Nelson as a search and rescue dog. Nelson lost a leg but survived the slaughter that killed Clarence and 7 other dogs. I like to think Nelson would have made Clarence proud, if only for his tenacity. I could have sworn I felt him here the other day when I was working out how to run the new wiring inside the kitchen walls. I nodded. Last summer I'd felt his spirit as an electric hum and buzz. It made sense he'd take an interest in wiring. You'd think this would be a lonely place. I opened the bag of chips and picked up a couple of pebbles to anchor our napkins. Sometimes it feels